One was enough for Brayan Bello and the Red Sox in the Bronx Friday night, as the Red Sox are now up 2-0 in the series. And with the win on Friday, they also clinched the season series against the Bronx Bombers. MLB Game Night, every game, every night, and we are underway.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
And we are glad to have you on board with our latest edition of MLB Game Night, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. He is Lindsay Crosby, host of the Locked On Braves Postcast. You can follow Lindsay on the X at Crosby Baseball. I'm Steve Lenox, host of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast. You can follow me on X at Lenox on Baseball. Lindsay, we're going to get into Red Sox Yankees to start the show, but William Contreras in Milwaukee Friday night playing the role of hero. The Padres taking round one against the Dodgers. So now we have a tie atop the National League Western Division with just over 5 weeks to go in the regular season. And the Mets led by a rookie hurler. We do start with the Red Sox and Yankees, game 2 of their 4-game series in the Bronx. Max Fried, terrific, 6 scoreless innings. Brayan Bello, 7 scoreless innings. Only run scoring in the 7th inning, Nathaniel Lowe. What a great pickup, not at the trade deadline, but just over the last couple of days by the Red Sox as they picked him up after he was DFA'd by the Nationals. He had a pinch hit double in the 7th inning, scored on an RBI double by Connor Wong. Only run of the game. Let's get the Yankees' perspective, and with that, here's Jay Berman, Locked On Yankees postcast.
The Yanks lose again to the Red Sox in the Bronx. Final score 1-0. Boston leapfrogs the Yankees in the standings. The Red Sox now have the top wild card spot in the American League, a half game in front of the Yankees, who have the second wild card spot in the American League. Again, 1-0 the final score. Yanks did not have a base runner touch second base the entire night. They had 3 singles, 0 runners in scoring position. Now, neither starter figured in the decision. Max Fried, 6 scoreless for the Yanks. Brayan Bello, 7 scoreless for the Red Sox. But again, the Yankee offense was pathetic. 1-0 the final score. And as we said, Yanks now trail the Red Sox by a half game.
And with the victory, Lindsay, on Friday night, the Red Sox, 5 games remaining in the regular season series with the Yankees, 2 more in this series in the Bronx, but the Red Sox within Friday night clinching the season series. That could be big down the stretch into the regular season for these 2 AL Eastern Division teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's tiebreakers coming into effect and things like that. But the biggest takeaway that I have on this is just the opposite directions these teams are going. We talked about the Yankees game yesterday, about how their bullpen pickups gave up runs late. You look at this, Mark Leiter Jr. takes the loss. Wasn't a pickup at the deadline this year, but another situation where starter gives them an amazing outing. Bullpen can't hold it. Devin Williams had a scoreless 8th. Bednar had a scoreless 9th, but at that point, it didn't matter. And both those guys, Bednar threw 23 pitches in a loss on Friday night. And so do you even have him for Saturday or for Sunday? It's just, everything's going wrong for the Yankees. Everything's going right for the Red Sox. And it feels like it's not decided. It's a half game difference, but it feels kind of like it's over.
Yeah, Bello, 10th win on the season. I mentioned 7 scoreless. He's been terrific and settling in nicely behind Garrett, who goes on Saturday. And with a win on Saturday, the Red Sox can clinch the season series, this series, this 4-game set. But you mentioned the Yankees bullpen on the other side. Garrett, Whitlock. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning on Thursday. Did the same on Friday. Then Aroldis Chapman. He's been terrific against his former team. 1, 2, 3, 9th on Thursday for the save. Did the same in a 1-0 game on Friday. And with Whitlock pitching that 1, 2, 3, 8th inning, Ben Rice struck out against Chapman in the 9th inning. Where was Aaron Judge? Waiting on deck. If one guy had gotten it on in front of him in that bottom of the 9th inning against Chapman, Judge would have came to the plate representing the potential winning run. Did not happen.
Yeah, and it feels like so much of the Yankees offense right now revolves around Aaron Judge, revolves around Giancarlo Stanton when he's in the lineup and hitting home runs. And they didn't get a home run today. It's they have too many guys vying for DH spots between Stanton because he can't play in the outfield in multiple days, Judge and everybody. And it's kind of a train wreck in New York right now.
Let me get this in there. We're going to do Brewers in just a moment. They walked off at home. But MLB Game Night presented by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31, 2025. We're not hearing from our guy Chuck Freeman tonight, but the Brewers get back home, host the Giants on Friday night. Giants are running the ninth inning, tying the game at 4. William Contreras, RBI double in the 7th inning. That put the Brewers up 3-2 at that point, and then he plays hero in the home 9th inning going deep.
This is their 25th one-run win of the season. They are 25-15 in one-run games. And I don't know what's more surprising, that it's actually a similar winning percentage to their overall winning percentage, or that they've had so many one-run games. And it's it's comebacks, it's walk-offs. This was, I think, their 9th walk-off win of the year, and they're having just an amazing month. They're 17-4 right now in August, and you look at like the schedule, what they have left after the Giants. They've got Arizona for 4. Toronto is a little tough, but I mean, this could kind of put away, between this and the Cubs struggling, this could put away the division for them already.
Do remain 7 games up on the Cubs. The Cubs with a victory in Anaheim as they opened up a series against the Angels on Friday night. And how about our guy Sam Olber? It's been a while since Sam has mentioned their 2 big boppers in the lineup in terms of positive production. Sam Olber with the recap, Locked On Cubs.
Tucker and PCA homer in the same game, and the Cubs find a way to win a ball game 3-2 in Anaheim. I'm Sam Olber from the Locked On Cubs podcast. It was a long time coming. We finally saw Kyle Tucker home run, first one since mid-July, and then a PCA home run, the first one since July 23rd. It felt like spring again. For the Cubs. They need their stars to hit. They need their stars to perform. They did that today. They left a lot of opportunities out on the bases, which is why this game was so close. Javier Assad did a really nice job keeping the Cubs in the game with a quality start. Bullpen did a really good job. Kittredge gave up a home run, but outside of that, Keller and Palencia were great. The difference in the ball game, though, was 2 solo homers from PCA and Kyle Tucker. Man, was that refreshing and good to see.
Lindsay, your confidence level in the Cubs being able to build on this?
I need to see it more than once. I mean, you could have a good one game, but as long as PCA's been quiet, as long as Kyle Tucker's been quiet, I need more than one game before I say, okay, this is still a race again. We still have the Brewers running away with this, and one game from Kyle Tucker and PCA, or one big hit from each, isn't going to make me think they can do anything remotely close to closing a 7-game gap.
Games like this, they win 3-2 over the Angels. I love that Palencia not fooling around, struck out 2 and working a 1-2-3 bottom half of the 9th inning. The last thing you need from him is to blow that lead in the bottom half of the 9th.
They absolutely needed the win. And this is a long West Coast road trip.
Yeah.
Being able to be efficient and just get the punchies, do this, get it out. After this, they go to LA for the Angels. After this, they go to San Francisco for the Giants. They go to Colorado for the Rockies. Not the easiest places to get reinforcements to. So they need the bullpen to be fresh. And Palencia just punching out 2 and not even leaving it a question kind of helps that.
Let's wrap up segment number 1. Dodgers, Padres, Petco Park, first of a 3-game series Friday night. Low-scoring game. Manny Machado tying the game at 1 with an RBI single in the 4th inning, scored on a sac fly by Xander Bogaerts. That was it. Darvish, terrific. 6 innings, 1 run. Jason Adam, Mason Miller, Robert Suarez made things interesting, but they got the job done for Mike Schilt as he's able to shorten the game. Padres take game 1. With that, we've got a tie in the NL West.
This is the blueprint, right? We get all these fantastic relievers. Give us what you can give us as a starter. You got everything you can ask for from you, Darvish, and more. Turn it over to that bullpen and let them lock it down. My question is, if you're using these same 3-4 guys in the bullpen every single game in the postseason, how long is that effective for? And I think using relievers when maybe, obviously they had to here, but using relievers when you didn't have to is going to end up being a theme of this show. We talked about the Yankees using Bednar in the ninth. You'll see more of this, the Mets using some guys late. And I'm thinking about how effective will these relievers be with these extra innings, these extra pitches, and this extra exposure when they get to the postseason.
Padres now 21-12 since the All-Star break. Blake Snell pitched well, but took the loss, gave up 2 earned runs over 7. Glasnow Cortez, the pitching matchup on Saturday. When Lindsay and I continue with MLB Game Night, the Phillies losing to the Nationals, who all of a sudden have a decent bullpen, and the Mets take advantage as they're led by their new rookie hurler. I don't know if he's the ace, but Nolan McClean giving the Mets a big shot in the arm. We'll talk about that next.
It's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite with a non-alcoholic boost. It's perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game, because whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Because golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best part of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the beverage cart. And now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament that's not the Masters in the USA. So tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary, excludes the Masters tournament, and ends October 31st, 2025.
Every game, every night, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Nationals coming off a series where they won a series against the Mets at home in D.C. to open up the week. Open up a series Friday night in Philadelphia against the Phillies and take the series opener. Again, their bullpen kind of getting the job done. We've got Connor Thomas, Locked On Phillies. Rough one for the Phillies closer in this one. And a tip of the cap to Connor as he brings back a name from the Phillies past.
Well, that just straight up sucked. I'm Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. The Phils fall 5-4 to the Washington Nationals, and it was going to happen eventually, right? Joan Duran blows his first save as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies. Nobody's perfect, except Brad Lidge. I guess that makes what Brad Lidge did back in 2008 even more impressive. But, man, it sucks to see him get hit a little bit like that. It sucks that Bryson Stott and JT Realmuto's heroics go for naught, but that's baseball, man. You're not going to win them all, and you'd like to see the Phillies put together a better approach at the plate. They did not do that. They missed some opportunities, and it took until late to get going again. And I need this team to get going against not just bullpens. I know they've done that at points this year, but back at it again tomorrow. Unfortunately, this should have been a win, and they cost themselves a game. And with the Mets winning, they're going to lose a full game in the division, it looks like. But get back after it tomorrow. It's another day, and hopefully they can still take 3 or 4 against the Nationals. We'll talk on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.
If I can contextualize that Brad Lidge reference for the youngins, in 2008, he was 2-0 with a 1.95 ERA and a perfect 41 for 41 in save opportunities. He was the 4th place finisher in Cy Young that year.
Yeah. So the Phillies are 6 up on the Mets. They still have some breathing room in the division, but at this point in the season, you want to win series. You don't have to sweep. You don't want to get swept, but you want to win a series. And this is one at home against the Nationals. Still a team, they're playing for the future. Dalen Lyle RBI single, tied the game at 4. Then he scores. He steals third and scores on an E2 by JT Realmuto. And Connor mentioned Realmuto, one of the 2 home runs in the game. Cade Cavalli for the Nationals, 3 runs over 6 innings. He might be a part of their future. But for the Phillies, again, loss Friday night, snapping a 4-game win streak. Got to get back in the win column. Got to even up this series on Saturday.
Yeah, but to your point, I mean, standings advantage here. All you got to do is just hold serve, win your series, and you'll be fine. The Mets are the ones that have to go out and get the sweeps to close the ground. And you put these teams up, 3 games, I feel like you're going to be fine. The Saturday matchup, is Mitchell Parker versus Aaron Nola. You feel good about Philly's offense. You have to question, PJ Poulin pitched 2 perfect innings of relief, got his first career win. He's probably not coming back tomorrow.
Right.
This has been one of the worst bullpens in baseball. you feel like you can still take the series, you're still in good position for it.
But again, for this week, the bullpen has gotten the job done in the series against the Mets and Friday night as well. Let's move on. Mets, Braves, your Braves, taking one on the chin. Nolan McClean was terrific in this one. And we've been talking about it. Who is the guy who's going to step up for the Mets and give them a quality outing? Not just work into the 5th inning, not just work into the 6th inning, but he went a full 7. Big time at the plate for the Mets. We're going to hear from Chris Schubert in here in just a moment. But from the Braves side, what'd you take away from Friday night? Because this is a Braves team, as you well know, has been playing winning baseball of late.
McClean was just really hot. He never looked to be stressed, even when he'd give up a hit there, or he gave up runs in back-to-back innings. I want to say it was second and third, or third and fourth inning. He just settled down and got out of it. And it's big for a rookie in general to look comfortable, especially in those situations. And plenty of offense behind him. A lot of that was the guys pitching for Atlanta, Joey Wentz, Eric Fetty, who was moved to the bullpen. He could be DFA'd, I think, tomorrow. That might just be happening. But, I mean, 37 hard hit balls in this game. It was just, this was not cheap contact by either team. Everybody was ripping baseballs. 37 hard hit balls, 21 hits for the Mets, another, I think, 10 for Atlanta. Just crazy game. The bullpen usage for the Mets, though, in the end was really surprising. I want to see if Chris talks about it, and if not, we'll mention it on the way out.
And right on cue, Chris Schubert, Locked On Mets, with more details on this one.
Let's take the opener from Atlanta, 12-7, a huge night for the Bats, a season-high 21 hits. But the big story in this one, Nolan McClean, a follow-up act, a sequel to his MLB debut, and it was better than his MLB debut. Despite giving up a pair of runs, he was the first Met not named David Peterson since June 7th to pitch 6 innings. He did you one better. How about 7 innings from McClean? And he looks like an ace. He throws like an ace. He may be the Mets ace here down the stretch. The poise, the swagger, how comfortable he looks. First pitch of the game, he slips, falls, hits Profar, doesn't bother him, gives up a home run to Acuna in this game. The next time he sees him, strikes him out 97 upstairs, not afraid to attack these Braves hitters, not afraid to go right after them because he has some elite stuff. It was on display tonight for the New York Mets, and boy, do they need somebody like this in their rotation. And for the rest of this season, they've got somebody in their rotation.
All the runs, all the hits, seven innings, 2 runs baseball from your starter. But the 2 guys that worked in the back end of the bullpen, I'm sorry, shame on them.
Yeah, they pulled Reed Garrett and then Ryan Helsley into this game for the 8th and the 9th. Those guys combined for 5 earned runs given up to Atlanta on 6 hits and a walk, which was the only walk of the game, by the way. 2 outs in the 9th, they walk a guy. Only walk of the game for the Mets issue was that one. But yeah, you need this bullpen to make up for a pitching for a rotation that's not going deep into games. And you've had to overwork your bullpen. Not only did they throw Garrett and Helsley, but I mean, Garrett threw 28 pitches. Helsley threw 24. They got Edwin Diaz to start throwing in the 9th when Atlanta narrowed it down to 12-7.
Can't happen. Can't happen this time of year.
And so, you probably don't have Garrett and Helsley tomorrow. How hot did Diaz get before they got Matt Olson to ground out to end it?
Yeah.
And just you're up by 10. Why are you throwing Reed Garrett into a game? It just some self-enforced errors here that I feel like are going to come back and bite the Mets later on down the stretch.
Rep Beatty, 4-hit game. Juan Soto, 3 hits, home run, 4 RBIs, also walked twice and scored a couple of runs. Mets bottom 4 hitters in the lineup combining for 12 hits, 6 RBIs, and 6 runs. You lived through that, yes. Let's move along.
Soto and Lindor were great, but the bottom of the lineup was just untouchable. Jeez.
I'll take Royals, Tigers. You take Astros, Orioles here as we wrap up segment number 2. Tigers win the opener at home in Detroit against the Royals 7-5. Tigers have won 8 of 9. Zach McKinstry, Riley Green, both homering. McKinstry, 3 hits on the night, just a double shy of the cycle. Green, number 30 on the season. That was a 2-out, 2-run shot in the 6th inning and tied the game at 3-3. Kyle Finnegan, 2 scoreless in relief for the Tigers in their victory. And Vinny Pasquantino homered in the 9th inning. He's now tied a Royals franchise record homering in his 5th straight.
Yeah, Astros at Orioles. This is a 10-7 win by Houston. Big thing here, Christian Walker gets a 2-out, 3-run homer in the 5th. That followed up Jeremy Pena's 3-run homer in the 3rd. The big thing here with Josh Hader out, they just signed Craig Kimbrell, but Brayan Bello picks up the last 4 outs for his 2nd save of the year, 1 in the 3rd scoreless. Let's see what happens on Saturday with the bullpen the next time they have a save opportunity come up.
That's a wrap for segment number 2. We'll continue with MLB Game Night. Another pitching prospect debuting for the Pirates Friday night. Our guy Gary has the details. This is MLB Game Night. All right, before we get to the Pirates, and the Pirates, 55-74, but they've got another shutout on their resume for their pitching staff this season. We'll get to that in just a moment. Let's open Blue Jays Marlins here. Jays just keep winning. Now 75-54, take the opener in Miami 5-2. Shane Bieber, big storyline in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Pitching for the first time since early April of 2024, acquired from the Guardians at the trade deadline, working on a rehab assignment up with the Blue Jays. All he does is go out, Lindsay, and throw 6 innings of 1-run baseball. That is outstanding.
And not just 1-run baseball, 2 hits, no walks, and strikes out 9. It's probably one of the best first games back from major elbow surgery that we've seen for a long time. And if he keeps this up, this is absolutely the best pitcher traded at the MLB trade deadline. So just kind of absurd. Shout out to Dalton Varsho. I've always loved Dalton Varsho since he went from catcher to center field. He had a 2-out, 2-run homer in the 6th in this one. And Ty France, who just keeps bouncing around the league, he had 2 hits and 2 RBI.
Barrios and Junk Saturday in Miami for the Blue Jays and Marlins in Game 2 of that series. I don't know right now. Again, after Sunday, 5 weeks left in the regular season, I'm starting to convince myself that Red Sox and Yankees, neither one is going to catch Toronto in the AL East division.
I think if anybody does, the Red Sox have a better opportunity simply because the pitching's good enough. You've got enough offense. It's just a matter of getting them all in the same game, right?
Yeah.
Getting the offense and pitching in the same game. But the Blue Jays are just a unit right now. So if anybody does, it'll be the Red Sox. But I think if I was putting money on it, I'm still going with the Blue Jays to win the East this year.
All right, segment number 3 for us is sort of the games. We open up with a division leader in the Blue Jays, but these are the games. A lot of these teams have fallen out of contention, but the Pirates are bringing their prospects up. Another shutout, 9-0 victory for the Pirates at home against the Rockies on Friday night. 9-0 the final. Their 15th shutout of the season. Ashcraft and Chandler. Bubba Chandler working in relief. Ashcraft goes 5. We're going to hear from Gary in just a moment. Chandler in his big league debut, 4 scoreless. Again, I keep having to, I knew the number was up there because I've sort of been updating it of late, but 15 shutouts for Pirates pitching. I can't help but think they're going to have a really good pitching staff in 2026.
And what offense are they going to have around it? Like, that's just, that's the thing. It's going to be Jacob deGrom with the Mets all over again.
Nothing wrong with winning 2-1.
These pitchers are going to go 7 scoreless and get a no decision because they gave up 1 run in the 9th and lost 1-0.
Notice I'm not arguing with you because you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not wrong. But like this was good pitching. I mean, Braxton Ashcraft gave him 5 scoreless here. Bubba came in for the last 4, only 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, and being able to piggyback 2 young arms like that back to back is just a fantastic thing that not a lot of teams can do right now. And that is probably the core competency of the Pirates is just phenomenal young pitching. But you got to find offense. You got to do more. It worked today. You got plenty of offense today. But Tommy Pham's like, 38? Andrew McCutcheon's like 37. They're not going to be around that much longer. You got to get these guys some reinforcements that are a little bit younger if you want to be a playoff team ever again in the future.
Yeah, let's hear from our guy, Gary, Locked On Pirates, on the shutout victory Friday night for the Buccos.
Yep.
The Pirates beat the Colorado Rockies 9-0 tonight, but the story was young pitching. Hey, this is Gary from Locked On Pirates. That's right, young pitching. Braxton Ashcraft threw 5 strong innings to start this game. He had more in him. You could tell the Pirates had the plan to go to Bubba Chandler and let him get his debut tonight. almost a pre-planned piggyback. I don't think they necessarily planned on how long Braxton would go, but they knew they wanted to give Bubba an opportunity for a good long run. And what did he do? Just continue the shutout and take it the rest of the way for a save in his very first game, in his debut. He went 4 innings and closed it out. Great. I mean, the second time that's happened this season, believe it or not. Thomas Harrington got a 4-inning save earlier, but not in his debut. So Bubba Chandler, great stuff. Braxton Ashcraft, wonderful. The foundation of pitching this team has, it's hard to fathom they can't fix what's wrong. For real. This offseason needs to be important, and games like this are exactly why. The pitching is coming and there at the same time. This has to be doable. It just has to be. Has to be. More on this Monday morning, Locked On Pirates.
22,000 plus paid attendance PNC Park Friday night. It's probably going to be scarce once football rolls around, schools in session in Pittsburgh, but I actually am sort of impressed with that number at this point in the season. And it might have been a little spike with Chandler making his debut, but the fan base is ready for what Gary's been talking about for a while now, and we're starting to be on board with it too.
I think any boost for Chandler is offset by the fact it was the Rockies in town. It's not like you were coming to get to see Mike Trout with the Angels or anything like that. Like it was the Rockies, and they drew that number. So impressive. Also really interesting, Orlando Arcia started for the Rockies at first base and then moved to shortstop after a pinch hitter took over for Ezekiel Tovar. I can't remember the last time I saw a guy play first base and shortstop in the same game.
Yeah, that's a great one. Sarah Langs or Elias might have something on that when we wake up Saturday morning. Interesting finish, Guardians-Rangers in Arlington, Texas. Rangers walk off with the victory. Cade Smith did not get the job done for the Guardians out of the bullpen. Let's hear from Justin Latta as he gives the details from the Guardians side.
That ends in Y, and another back-breaking loss for the Cleveland Guardians. Justin Latta here of Locked On Guardians. For the 5th time in the last week, the Guardians had a winnable game, and they blew it again. Guardians took a late 3-2 lead against the Rangers thanks to Jose Ramirez hitting a 2-run double. Their biggest player came through for them. They handed the ball to their closer, Cade Smith, in the 9th inning, and he gave up 2 runs on 7 pitches, 3 straight hits, end of the game. Very unusual for Cade Smith because this is the 2nd time in a row he's done this, where he's blown a game the Guardians could have won. Have to wonder if he's tipping his pitches again, but either way, the bullpen depth is being tested. It's getting thinner, and the Guardians' margin for error continues to shrink and shrink. Slade Ciccone rebounded and have a great start for them against a struggling Rangers team who also have a bad bullpen, but the Guardians had to one-up them on Friday night by blowing this game. And yeah, their margin of error keeps sinking down. They're not going to gain any ground on the Royals. They're not going to gain any ground on the Mariners, who are playing. It's getting tighter and it's getting rougher. The Guardians are entering must-win territory for the next couple of games. We'll talk all about it on Monday's Locked On Guardians. Make sure you're there.
Yeah, Justin mentioned it. Cade Smith threw 7 pitches, but Wyatt Langford on a 2-2 pitch reaches with a base hit, scores on a base hit by Corey Seager. He was up there first pitch swinging. And then Jock Peterson, who has not had a great year, delivering first pitch swinging, RBI double scoring Seager, and 8th walk-off win of the season for the Rangers, who are 2 games under 500. Can't consider them right now in that wild card race as they've fallen below that 500 mark.
That's where the pitch clock gets you, right? You don't have time to stop and gather yourself. You got to get into the next pitch, and 2-2 double, bam, first pitch, bam, first pitch, game over. And in the span of a minute, if that, just pitch clock gets you every time.
Cardinals Rays, game 2 of their series in Tampa, Florida on Friday, and they beat up on Miles Michaelis, 10-6 the final, as the Rays are able to even up the series at a game apiece. And with that, we just talked about him. Junior Caminero on that left side of the Rays infield at third base at the hot corner, home run number 36, and Carson Williams, MLB debut, go Yard.
I mean, you can see the path to the Rays being one of the best, being back in the playoff picture, right? They're pitching. They always seem to build this pitching. Young guys like Carson Williams, Junior Caminero, they're going to be fantastic defenders, especially Williams. They both give you power like this. you can absolutely see a path while they still have a Yandy Diaz who's not, he's not too old to contribute and things like that. You can see their path. I want to see what they do with this.
All right, we'll wrap up here. 3 more games to go in a brief couple minutes that we have remaining. Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor, Jorge Polanco, 3 solo home runs for the Mariners as they end a 5-game losing streak. Stay 2 games behind the Astros in the AL West. They take game 1 of their series at home against the Athletics with a 3-2 victory.
Yeah. Reds at Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks win this 6-5 in 11. And the Reds need a win here because they're really the only team that can challenge the Mets for that final wildcard spot. Lourdes Gurriel had the winning run with an RBI single in the 11th. Gabriel Moreno made his return to the Diamondbacks lineup. He was out for a while with injury. 3-run home run. So between him, James McCann, they've got extra catching now. They're starting to get guys healthy. Can they make a run? I doubt it. They're still below 500, but the Reds don't seem to want to do it. So we'll see if Arizona can do it.
Minnesota Twins in Chicago against the White Sox. Minnesota picking up just its 4th win in its last 13 games. Royce Lewis, big blow in this one. 2-out grand slam, that in the 4th inning. Twins beat the White Sox 9-7. Carson Montgomery did have a 2-run home run for Chicago, but the White Sox have now lost 3 in a row. Final thought from Friday, a look ahead to Saturday from Lindsay.
You don't have to always throw in a back-end reliever into a game that's a blowout. I understand the idea of getting them work, but so many of look at what happened to the Guardians last year. They used that bullpen so much during the season, and in the postseason, they got shelled. Just give it to a position player. That's why that rule is in place, guys.
A lot of people don't like that. We've had a ton of position guys on the mound this year.
Yep.
But yeah, I completely understand because, I always hate when, he isn't pitching 3 or 4 days. You're going to get him in and get him some work. But all of a sudden, the next day, 24, 48 hours later, you're really in need for those back end guys, especially at this point in the season. That's why I do sort of tip my cap to the Red Sox right now, the way they've approached with Aroldis Chapman. He has not worked a second inning at any point this year, and he seems to be fresh at the back end of that bullpen. Hey, that's going to do it for our latest edition of MLB Game Night. Every game, every night. Don't forget to tell your friends all about us. We do appreciate your support all throughout the season. We are here all the way through the end of the regular season, just over 5+ weeks left in the regular season. MLB Game Night, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Every game, every night.